nutrition just really quickly because it follows right with what Esther has been talking about with the bone. And obviously what we eat and drink affects everything, how we manage to do anything. How many of you have been on a diet or are on a diet over your lifetime?
You want me to run it?
Yeah, okay. And it's so frustrating because we want to lose that extra 10 pounds or 15 pounds or whatever, and it just seems like it doesn't come off. And we're always asking ourselves, why is this so challenging? And then we develop our medical issues, and we're always told, well, you got to lose this, you got to do this, you got to exercise, on and on and on. And it gets so frustrating. And when I hear that, I always go back when I was talking with our doctors, and that's a real key important part too, because they are an integral part of our well-being. But I have fired a number of doctors because I didn't like what they told me. They told me, well, you know, you're getting older. You know, this is the way of life. You know, age affects this. You know, everybody gets this when they get to be this certain age. How many of you have been told that? Doesn't that just drive you crazy?
Yes, it does.
And so, you know what, when I went over the 60-year mark, and I'm told that, it's like, this is not good. And so I found doctors that are looking at the holistic approach. They look at prescriptions when they're absolutely necessary, because at times it is absolutely necessary to have it. And what we found is that, believe it or not, sugar is the #1 culprit that affects everything that we do. Everything. And so people will say, well, you know what? I don't eat a lot of sweets. I don't, you know, drink lots of sodas. I don't do this. I drink water. But you know what? We're always told, read the labels. Right? Okay, well, we have to know what the labels are telling us. So, what my nutritionist told me, she says, well, first of all, if the first 4 ingredients is you understand, and then everything after it, you don't know what it is, and you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. Because that means there's lots of chemicals and preservatives which directly affect our system. And then on top of all of that, we have gone from good, nutritious grains, like our wheat and gardens, you know, vegetables, fruit. But what we found is that now they're being sprayed. A lot of them are genetic modified. And our body does not understand that. We were never meant to eat that kind of food because, again, it's man-made. And so what I was told by my doctor, I grew up in South Dakota on a farm. My dad would have been classified as an organic farmer by today's standards. We pulled the milkweed, we pulled the weeds out because he said you don't want to harm the soil. Well, the problem is that our soil is so depleted. And the organic farmers truly are trying to produce those types of vegetables and grains for us while the demand is growing. Because people are beginning to realize what's happening, not only in our country, but throughout the world. So what we have found is that we need to be sure that when we're eating something and we understand the sugars, understand the different words that sugar is classified. And so I just kind of look to see, when we eat a typical breakfast, for example, orange juice, oatmeal, slice of grain toast, milk, and we're looking at that, we're saying, okay, this is healthy because this is what we're told to do. Well, that breakfast can total 147 grams of carbs. 4 grams of carbs equals a teaspoon of sugar. So what I described to you as almost 37 teaspoons of sugar. And you know, that's frightening. Or let's talk about like spaghetti for dinner, meatballs, 2 slices of garlic toast, maybe cheesecake for some dessert. When you add all of that, and it can be gluten or non-gluten, that total is 182 grams of carbs, and that converts to 45 teaspoons of sugar. So then when you're throwing in a healthy lunch, we could typically eat 188 teaspoons of sugar. Now, we never look at it that way, but that's what's happening. That creates the inflammation in our system. That starts breaking everything down of our body trying to function properly. That leads into our bone issues, and it's just a vicious circle. So what do? We try to eat as much fresh vegetables, as much fresh fruit. When we cook our vegetables, not throw them in a microwave where it kills everything. We also look for ways, because we're a society that moves so fast. We don't have time to sit down and make proper meals. We're on the go constantly. How many of you drink a protein drink of some sort to get you through the day? Right. One of the things when you're looking at that, we want to look for protein drinks that are non-GMO, that are vegetable-based, like pea, as well as hemp and brown rice, all mixed together. Our body recognizes that. We're also looking for something that is not loaded with sugar and 0 carbs, possibly. But if you're using like stevia, which is a natural type of sugar, our body recognizes that. We also want to look for, does it have good probiotics in it? Does it help to cleanse in our system? Because we have a lot of toxins. We have a lot of lead and things like that in our system. We want it to be able to pull it out. Does it have something in the way of minerals, vitamins? Because all of this assists our body, but the number one thing, does it have medium chain triglycerides? Because that is what our brain functions off of. So, for example, coconut oil or palm oil. Our brain has to be able to have the energy to function, to be able then to do everything else that our body needs. One of the things that Nikon, I told you that they are very much health conscious for us. Their Jenkins Vital Balance drink has all of those things. And what we find is that we're addicted to sugar and we don't even realize it. And we have to train our brain to lighten up so that it produces the dopamine that we need, instead of wanting us to fall asleep after 2 hours after we've eaten something. And our Vital Balance has that. And if you start with a good protein drink that doesn't have the preservatives, the coloring, that has good, clean product, and has nutrients in it, and you start your day that way. First thing, before you have coffee, have your drink water, clean, clear water, drink that, and your mind wakes up. You will literally start to feel that energy. And if you will do that for 10 to 14 days, you're beginning to train your brain not to crave the sugar. And if you have a sugar issue, you may need to do it for 30 days. And I don't absorb protein very well. So I find that I can absorb this. And so I do that twice a day. And I'm on the go, and then I have a good, well-rounded meal. Those are the things that we have to understand, because I'm tired of people saying there's no way to change, or to get frustrated, get off a diet, and then they're right back where they started from. It's really a lifestyle change. I'm not on a diet. I control what I eat, and I'm not missing anything because you really, really enjoy your food. So, what we're going to do is we are going to take a 5-minute break and help yourself with water. We're going to be setting up for our next speaker. When you have questions, feel free to ask the speakers, but we're going to hold it more towards the end of the day. And also we have all kinds of gifts, and you need to be present, and we will be doing that at the end of our session today. We got some great gifts. Be sure and visit the vendors outside. Ask them lots of questions. And you probably need to stand up and take a break. We will start.